They were just obvious, and I took them for granted when I was a very young child, but looking back at Toy Story, and especially the powerful, insurmountably impressive masterpiece Toy Story 2, now, they were supreme manifestations of what the future of the medium entailed, what the future of our species' artistic expression would entail. Would we be depressed if a time traveler, or at least one of my own personal disposition towards things, arrived in 1999 from 2023? Hello, my name is Acknowledging Our Discontent, and I have a YouTube channel. It's like what you might consider public access, more overglorified and with rampant grifting. Would you be depressed if I told you that CGI animated films would peak still with Toy Story 2, and pretty much everything in the 21st century has basically been a degree of disappointing, Pixar or otherwise? There's some good stuff from Japan, as to be expected. Ghost in the Shell 2 will be soon, but these films, while digitally animated, are presented within the 2D form. What do you think, 1999? By the way, American Beauty is just terrible, and you'll all agree with me eventually. Anyway, back to the present. Actually, can we stay in 1999 a little longer? No? Damn, but I miss being able to go outside. Anyway, I viewed Toy Story on VHS. It was released in cinemas the year before I was born, and I eventually knew it back to front, and I even knew well a picture book and a PC point-and-click video game. Exploring further the environment, already indescribably frightening, of Sid's house via this computer game remains an incredibly vivid childhood memory. I would eventually view Toy Story 2. I remember being picked up from preschool by my mother, and she had the VHS. I had been told about it, was scared of it for some reason. I used to be scared by movies, just because, I suppose. Although I didn't find Toy Story 1 to be scary anymore, why would there be any reason to be scared of Toy Story 2? Seeing Woody, Buzz, and some new character on the cover had me feeling assured this film would be comfortable and memorable, friendly and warming like the first one. What a horrifying opening, and yet one of the most sensorially thrilling moments of my life. I remember and rejoice at every sound effect which plays during this, currently being displayed via screen caps, opening scene, and I'm sure that many other people my age feel this way also. This whole sequence, this entire film, once described by Noel Oakeshott as comparable to 1988's Akira in every scene being an extraordinary moment of animation creativity, is one of the most tendering acts upon my consciousness. For some reason, for whatever reason, more so than the first film, which I saw when I was certainly younger, and much more times I would at least imagine, this one resonates with me as a viewing experience more. One, because I think I valued the viewing experience of Toy Story 2, all of its collected moments, varied joys, more so, simply found it more pleasurable, interesting, exciting, stimulating, more so than the first film, but also because I can distinctly remember first watching Toy Story 2, whereas I cannot necessarily remember first viewing Toy Story 1, maybe slightly, but I much more remember rewatching it many, many times, before I had ever been aware of another entire movie existing of these characters. First viewing Toy Story 2 was enthralling. It was more Toy Story, except I didn't know what was going to happen next. The sequence of them crossing the road under the traffic cones permanently implanted in me what a film scene was capable of stirring in a viewer. A terror which was so born out of love and awe of what they were seeing that they couldn't look away. To some, me recounting with a profound rush of mental images the relief I felt when Mr. Potato Head emerged alive, not run over by a car, sounds like an attempt at humour. But it is wholly serious, and I remain serious. And I know certain others seriously agree, and I deem that scene legendary. And Zurg rocks up at the end. The film just kept on giving. I felt exhausted. I tend to think that by anyone's standards, Toy Story 2 is one of the finest examples of film art, an example which the 21st century has not necessarily lived up to. Outside of this film, I have no major love for Pixar, and it is Pixar's fault. The spiritual masterpiece of Alvy Ray Smith. That form of animation, peaked here.